Welcome to the All Aboard with Visit Mickey podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to All Aboard with Visit Mickey. This is Tricia. I am the owner of Visit Mickey Vacation, and I have Dustin Burton with me, and you might remember him from our previous podcast. Also, if you follow him on Instagram, Dustin OnDeck for DCL. Dustin, hi.
Hello, good to be here with you. How are you?
Oh my gosh, I am good. There's so much good stuff happening, and I feel like every day we're getting more news, right? And it really has been a fun time to be a Disney fan because I think almost from the kickoff of the official Josh D'Amaro being the next CEO, it's just been good news left and right.
It really has. There's so much coming. I mean, you turn your head and there's something else new, but it's all good things. And it's, like you said, it's really, really an exciting time to be a Disney fan.
It really is. It really is. And I mean, first we knew the next round of Disney Cruise Line dates was going to come out soon. And as soon as that tease happened, Dustin did just get off the Disney Treasure. And so we were waiting for like his opinion on the Treasure because I had been on it already. So I think as we were leading up, we said, okay, after you finish that trip, you need to get back in here and we have to record another podcast. So he is here. He wasted no time, and let's get started.
Yeah, we have so much to talk about. I'm very excited.
Yeah, very excited. So actually, we really want to start with news, breaking news. It actually did break just this week that we have decided, like, Visit Mickey, Dustin on his page, is planning to book his next trip it's September, right? September of 27, when the new dates come out. And we just started chatting and he was sharing things on social media. And I said, I think we should have a Visit Mickey cruise. I think the people who listen to us, the people who follow our Instagrams, the people who follow us on Facebook, the people who we've been booking for years, I think we should have a little group cruise. And he loved the idea. So we are going with it. So Dustin, why don't you tell him about that?
Yeah, I've been, if you follow me on social media, I've been kind of teasing it for a while as well. There's such a great community of Disney adults and Disney fans out there that we're able to connect through social media. And I've been throwing the idea out there of just picking a date and all of us just going on a big Disney cruise together and just finally meeting face to face, hanging out, interacting, and just really having a magical time at sea, right? So yeah, with some push from you, we finally are doing it. I'm really excited for the Disney Destiny sailing September 6th through the 10th of next year, 2027. We're going to do a Dustin OnDeck cruise for anybody who follows me and wants to join me and you and all of the gang for a really fun, magical time at sea. And it is a 4-night Disney cruise on the Destiny. The good thing that I'm very excited about, it is going to both of the private island destinations in the Bahamas with Disney. So Disney's Castaway Key, Disney's Lookout Key, and then we still get a day at sea and plenty of time to just hang out together and have some beach time, have some pool time, and do some trivia. And it's just going to be a really good, fun, exciting time. So I'm really excited to put this together. We
are going to dominate trivia. Like between all the super fans that will join us, And I will just say, we do have a great community in social media where people will send private messages and they'll be like, oh my God, I love this idea. And it's just such a great feeling to say they've been with us now for a couple years. And the thought of doing a cruise with the people that just help you book it is amazing that the response has been so good. So we Visit Mickey, we're going to put it on our homepage of our website. So if you go to visitmickey.com, right on the landing page up at the top, there's going to be a section for information about the cruise for September of 27 to join us on DCL. So we'll have that there, but also you can reach out to Dustin and you will tell them how.
Yeah, anybody can just send me an email. It's dustin@visitmickey.com. Pretty simple. Dustin, Dustin @visitmickey.com. Send me an email. Just let me know you're interested in joining us, and I'll respond to you, and we'll start a conversation, and I'll give you all the information. And also, if you already follow me on social media, my DMs are always open as well. So you're obviously welcome to reach out to me that way too. But yeah, I'm so excited for this, and anybody who's interested, please reach out. It's going to be a really good time.
So we should actually skip ahead just a teeny bit to say the dates. So if you have not seen it yet, the summer of 2027 dates are opening for Pearl guests at February 16th, Platinum February 17th, Gold the 18th, Silver the 19th, DVC the 19th, and then General Public the 23rd. So if you want to join us and you are a Castaway Club member, we can get in early. The other thing I would say is cruise is dynamic pricing. So the price goes up as the ship fills up. So it is best to join us early. And honestly, even if you think you want to and we get you in there, it's just your deposit, your refundable deposit. So as long as you're not booking concierge, that would be a non-refundable deposit. But otherwise, we can get you on there and it would give you time to think and you at least are in at the better rate, right? And I just can't say how exciting this is going to be. So we'll put a couple different ways to be able to find the information, but we're really jazzed about it.
Yeah, and I'll just add that the response I've received is pretty overwhelming. I mean, people are they're so excited. There's, of course, there's people who's not going to be able to make this date work. And I understand that. But even those people are reaching out saying how bummed they are. They can't make it work. And then there's others who are just reaching out left and right with wanting information. And it's just really, really cool to see. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I want to say that we are very intentional in our, feeling of community, right? I mean, we really do foster a community feeling. And I think Dustin is extremely good at that. And I think this is why the response has been so good. So join us, everybody. Anybody who's interested, you have two ways to reach out. Go to Visit Mickey's homepage, email Dustin, and also, right, you can find him through his Instagram, Facebook pages. But that was breaking news for us. And it's the first time we're doing something like this, but we feel like it's the right time and an exciting time.
Yes.
All right. So now the whole point of this podcast originally was to talk about Embarkation Day and the whirlwind, both the 24 hours before, the health questionnaire, just the whirlwind of an embarkation day. And Dustin had some thoughts on it and he's like, I think this would be a good thing to tackle. And I went, yes. So why don't we start there?
Yeah. So I've had several guests that recently have been first time Disney cruisers, and my love for Disney Cruise, I get really excited when I talk about it. Sometimes I talk too fast, and I was talking to a guest a few weeks ago, and we were on the phone, and I was just explaining everything that she's going to experience with her family on Embarkation Day, just because I wanted her to feel prepared. I wanted her to know what to expect. Some things can be overwhelming, some things can be confusing, some things can be just frustrating, or, you really got to have your patience that day. And that's when it just clicked. I'm like, above all of this information I'm giving you, I need you to know that it is going to be a very overwhelming day for you. But once you get to the Sailaway party, Disney Cruise Line will say your vacation officially begins, and they truly mean it. Up until that point, you will probably feel a little flustered. You will be probably lost. You'll probably be like, did I do everything I needed to do? But I just think it would be really good for us just to quickly walk through an embarkation day, just so everybody knows kind of what to expect and know that it's going to be crazy. And the most important thing is, don't judge your Disney cruise based off of Embarkation Day, at least prior to the Sailaway party.
I can agree with that. I mean, as we're platinum pros, right? So we know, do this. We know maybe the quiet places to go or the places that will not feel so overwhelming, but certainly a new person. And I mean, I'd love to know some of the things you put on your list for the pre-arrival or post-arrival. But there's some things that when people don't get the dining they want, for example, and their wait list didn't come through, it's another thing I have to tell them to add to that arrival day. And I don't like to do it. I always hope the wait list will come through if they picked a different dining time than they wanted or they couldn't get the dining time they wanted. Then I always have to add that because it's not something we can do for them. They have to do it for themselves. But to me, that would be an example of what could be, you can go. Sorry, guys. What could be, added stress. But you're right. Once the Sailaway happens, then it really is a vacation.
Yeah, it really is. So I guess let's go ahead and we'll kind of just walk you through what you're going to experience most of the time on any Disney cruise that you're going to go on. Embarkation morning, you're going to wake up and you're going to have an email from Disney Cruise Line asking you to complete a health questionnaire on their website. It is very easy to do. I think it's like 2 questions, maybe 3. I mean, it takes a minute, literally. But so that's not overwhelming. But I just wanted to point that out because right off the bat, the minute you wake up, you will have that email waiting for you from Disney. And then, you have to worry about your luggage. There's different situations for different people. If you're sailing out of Port Canaveral, if you're at Disney Resort and you have the Disney Cruise Line transportation, they're going to be knocking at your door by 7 a.m. wanting your luggage. So, so you're already going to be up early. You're already going to have to deal with that. Or if not, if you're taking it to the port yourself, you still have all of your luggage to worry about. You have to worry about making sure your luggage tags are on. And then everybody stresses over their port arrival times. Port arrival times are the time that Disney allows you to arrive to the port and get into the port and actually do your check-in process. I don't really know what to say with it other than everybody stresses over it. But at the end of the day, don't let it get to you. Don't stress too much over having your port arrival time. Just arrive whenever you're supposed to and know that you'll be able to get in then. On top of all that, you have your travel documents that you have to have prior to your check-in. If you have your magic bands, you'll want to have those with you along with your travel documents so they can scan those and get those ready to go for you. And
remember not to give your backpack with your passport to the bellman. Remember that stays on you. Because I cannot tell you how many times people are like, I brought it. and of course, they're being so nice and handy. They're like, can we take this for you? And you think, yes, one less thing to carry. And then you have to turn around and find your passport.
Yeah.
Keep your passport on you. That's always a good tip.
Yeah. And same with any medication that you're going to need throughout the day. Because you won't get your luggage until later on in the afternoon, almost sometimes right before dinner even. It can be that late. I think they say 5 or 5:30 is what it should be delivered to you by. So yeah, absolutely be mindful of all of that. And then also just the hustle and bustle of going through security. It's not as bad as going through airport security, but it's still going through security, especially if you have a big group with you or you have little ones, just the stress of that. And then, the last part before you actually get on the ship is what's my boarding number? No matter what time you get to the port, you're still not getting on the ship until your boarding number is called. So it's just all of those things kind of adding up and stacked up on top of each other. None of that is too crazy. None of that is something you actually need to really stress and beat yourself up over. But when you're going through all of these things back to back to back to back for the first time ever, I mean, that could be stressful. So I really just wanted to kind of just highlight all of that and just tell you, it's going to be okay. It's going to feel overwhelming, especially your first time. But there are so many Disney Cruise Line cast members there to help you through every single one of these processes. So just lean on them. Ask questions. If you don't know where to go, you don't know if you need to go this way or that way, or you need to be where at a certain time, just ask. They would love to help you.
And I mean, the cast members, it is definitely an elevated experience, Disney Cruise Line. And the cast members, they really are. They're just wonderful. And they're always smiling and they want your vacation to be amazing. They really do. So I agree. If you are ever just, I don't know where to go, I don't know what to do, just ask. They are there to make your day good. Okay. So we get through all the rigmarole. We do the security. If you have a passport, they take your picture. You finally get on the ship. Just before, what do you get to do, Dustin? You talk to someone and they ask
They ask you for your name.
last name, the family name.
Yep. And they announce you onto the incredible ship.
Onto the incredible ship. I mean, that is such a fun moment. And it's the only one that does it, right? And now introducing, the Scott family, the Burton family. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just a moment. It's a moment that feels like it might be starting your vacation. And it is a great moment. However, there is still more to do. And this comes to one of our favorite things to tell people to do, to now slow down and actually start enjoying your vacation. Dustin.
Yes. So I know everybody has heard us say multiple times, and we will continue to say, most people, or I would think most people, usually head up to the buffet to get some lunch as soon as they get on board. And that's great. If that's what you want to do, that is perfectly fine. But to those, especially those first-time Disney cruisers that might not be aware, you can actually go to one of the main dining rooms that will be open for a sit-down lunch. They will serve you. You do not have to have a reservation. You can just show up. They will seat you and take care of you. And it will be a very nice, relaxing lunch for you to start that Disney vacation.
And we do have to back up a little. I mean, not back up, but we have to remember to talk about your newsletter. And Dustin has a newsletter. And one of the things he said recently in the newsletter was, this is my chance to connect to Wi-Fi, to look at the schedule, to see where I'm dining that night, to see what day I have the show, what day I have this. Did I book anything that overlap with something else? This is your chance to get on the app and really look at your day. Now, if you're at the buffet, it's definitely louder at the buffet, but also you have to handle and maneuver. Your plates don't really get taken away that fast like you do a sit-down experience. So this, to me, is one of the best things about going to the sit-down lunch is connect to Wi-Fi. If I'm going to buy the Wi-Fi package, do that. Make sure everything's working correctly. That's what I do at that first lunch. And I think it's such a great kind of calming space to do that in.
Yeah, and I think too, especially those, with families or traveling with a bigger group, it gives you a chance to all sit down together right off the bat and just talk and just enjoy each other's company and talk about what you want out of this cruise. And as you're looking at the schedule, I just think it's a great thing. I know people can definitely make a case for doing the buffet instead if they have other priorities, if they just want to literally grab something really quick to eat and then get on to maybe, the kids club's open house or go up to the spa to make some reservations or something. I get it. That's not for everyone, but the first time cruisers, I definitely at least want them to be aware that they have that option. They don't have to go right into the hustle and bustle of a buffet right off the bat if they don't want.
Sure. And I think it's a great tip. And we've talked about it before, probably here too. But when we are thinking about Embarkation Day and what might be crazy, that would fall under that first meal. Some people are racing to the deck to get their pictures. Some, you know what I mean? So influencers are doing influencer things. Families are trying to get fed. Also, if the kids are hungry, maybe the buffet is a better choice because we can grab food, find a seat, and at least get them fed. But if you do want to slow down and start the enjoyment process, I do think the sit down is a great place for that.
Yeah. And in case we didn't mention it is no additional charge. It is included in your cruise price.
Yeah. So, as most things on the ship are no additional cost, you have your unlimited ice cream and your soda fountain and, your room service. I was like, room something, room service, Mickey
Yep.
bars, all the goodness,
Yeah.
alcohol's going to cost extra. Not every ship has it, but the dessert little ice cream gelato place is extra, and the adult dining, and not really much more, and popcorn.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but not
But
much more.
yeah, right, right. But then when you're finished with lunch, wherever you choose to dine for lunch on Embarkation Day, I think just that the rest of that afternoon up until the Sailaway party, usually around 4:30 p.m., depending on your sailing, it can be crazy. There are people that want to just learn the ship, go to different open houses, but you should know your room won't be ready until either 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, no matter when you actually board. And then right before the Sailaway party is something that everybody just loves, and I say that sarcastically, and that is
Very sarcastically.
the safety muster drill. It is required. It is mandatory for everyone to attend to go to your muster drill station for a security briefing and training before the ship can leave the port. It is
Now,
required. It's mandatory.
I will say this is the one area where Disney doesn't do it better. Like, I think Disney does it better in most ways. I really
Yep.
do. But the other brands, if they were still doing what they did post pandemic, I would be happy.
Sure.
But they did that for 1 year, and then they went back to their full on muster drill, and it's just so tight and uncomfortable.
So I've created a term, and it's called the muster drill lottery. Do you know what this is?
Muster drill lottery is indoor or outdoor?
Yes.
Do you get the seats or not?
Yes. So depending on where your stateroom is on the ship, that will determine where your muster drill location is. For some of those, it will be out on one of the side decks, probably on deck 4, and you will line up single file, one person in front of the other with your party, shortest in the front, tallest in the back. But if you are in a lucky spot on the ship, usually, not always, but usually if you're one of the aft staterooms, you will be blessed to be in one of the dining rooms for your muster drill, and you get to sit in one of the nice chairs at the nice table while you're going through your muster drill. And that does make it a whole lot better, I will just say.
It does. The one on deck 4 is a bit difficult because you are packed in like sardines, and literally you are packed in like sardines.
Literally.
So pack you. But you know what? Like, all of that disappears. The muster drill's over. They release you. People run up or race their way up to the deck so they can be there for the sail away to get their spot. What I mean? Like, that's just the name of that game. And but once that happens, it's all good.
Then you're good to go. It's that last bolt from the muster drill up to, because all of the muster drill stations are in the lower decks on the ship.
Right.
And the Sailaway party, weather permitted, it's always on the top decks outside.
Right.
So you always have to go from the bottom of the ship to the top of the ship. And the entire party or the entire ship is doing that same thing at the same time.
Yeah. I will say the one thing we talked about it briefly, but breezed over right after, was if you have to do anything, if you have to change reservations, that's all done before the muster drill too. So that's like from when you get on until the muster drill, making adjustments, making changes, going to guest services, anything, Palo, Remy, any of that happens in that from arrival to muster drill time. So again, we say, once they have the sail away, it's officially started. Until then, you might have a little work to do. You might have a little this or that, but it does start off at the sail away party.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's That's all we wanted to highlight. Especially for those first time cruisers, it can be very overwhelming, but it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah. Right. It really gets good from there. It really gets good from there. Okay. So now, everywhere, every year people pick a word, right? They pick a word to be the word of the year. And I was talking to Dustin a little bit ago, and I said, my 2026 year is pivot. That is my word for this year, is pivot. You're having a bad day, pivot and find something good. You can use it over and over and over again, right? And Dustin, if you follow him, you might already know, but if not, he was recently, a week ago, on the Disney Treasure. And the Disney Treasure is a 7-night sailing, and it is scheduled to have 3 stops, right?
Yes.
So scheduled for three islands, and then the beginning day, the end day, and 2 sea days, right? That's the itinerary.
We actually had 3 sea days and 3
sea days.
3 port days.
Okay, all right. 3 islands, 3 sea days, and right, beginning and end. Okay, right. Okay, well, Dustin was on the Treasure for 7 days, and they ported 1 day for 4 hours?
It was actually 7 hours. Yep.
Oh, was it there the whole 7 though? I thought it was short.
It was there for 7, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that requires some pivoting, and definitely I wanted him to talk because it was his experience. But, when Disney can't port at an island, that's very rare. And so for him to have it happen for 2 of his 3 islands, not to be able to get off the ship. And so the word pivot really meant something that cruise. And I'd like him to talk about it a little.
Yeah. So it was my first time on the Disney Treasure. And it was doing, like Tricia said, the Eastern Caribbean itinerary with stops at St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, Tortola, British Virgin Islands, and then Disney's Castaway Key. Unfortunately, the week before this cruise, there was a big weather system over the United States, dropped a lot of snow on a lot of people. And unfortunately, that weather system kind of just followed us down to the Caribbean. The weather was not ideal. I wish I could say we saw the sun every day, but we did not. But it was such a fun cruise. And even with everything that went technically wrong or just didn't go in our favor, it was still such a fun cruise. The ship itself was beautiful. There was so much to do. The cast and crew was phenomenal, and there was so much pivoting. The crew did not miss a beat. It was pretty fascinating to watch, actually. So we started out our sailing, and our first 2 days were scheduled to be at sea. So there's nothing wrong there. Just unfortunately, it was just very windy and chilly, and there was really no sun for either of those sea days. We tried, but there just wasn't. But again, that's the single thing Disney cannot control on a Disney cruise. That is the weather, That being said, there was plenty of stuff for us to do. They kept all of us entertained. And I mean, we very much enjoyed our 2 days at sea. We had, on our 3rd day, we were supposed to be going to St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. And I woke up probably about, I'm guessing this is about 5 a.m. It was before the sun came up. And I kind of heard some rumblings of something. And so I opened our window. We had a veranda, and I see that we're leaving from a port. There was a city outside of our window, and I was really confused. I didn't know what was going on, and I did hear that there was a medical emergency overnight, and so we actually had to make an emergency stop over in San Juan, Puerto Rico, for one of the guests just to be taken to a local hospital there. So the first pivot that we had to do of our cruise was, because of this situation, we were not going to be getting into St. Thomas until almost 11 a.m. I think it was 10:45 a.m. is when they switched us to arrival instead of the 8 a.m. or whatever it was originally. So That's fine. No worries at all. Everybody still had breakfast on board. We just waited for the late arrival, and we get to St. Thomas. Like we literally get to St. Thomas. We are pulling into we're pulling right up to the port. To be honest with you, we are just not far away at all, and we go up on the top deck. I like going up the top deck and watching us dock, and the wind. I don't even know how to explain to you how bad that wind was. I think this was my 21st or 22nd cruise, and I've never experienced wind like that. And I mean, it was literally like you had to hold on to something so it didn't blow you over. And so we decide, well, we're just going to have to go back down, just to a lower deck because it was so windy. And next thing I know, I look back out the window, and we're back out at sea. So because of that wind, even though we got into St. Thomas and we got to the port, Captain Marco, phenomenal dude. He was awesome. He's such a nice guy. He tried to port for us. I mean, we got right there, but just the winds were too strong, and it was just too dangerous with the winds being that strong to get that ship any closer to port. So we literally did a 180. You could just see it, and we went right back out to sea, and that became an unexpected day at sea for us. It was crazy. It was disappointing, but at the same time, it is what it is. The weather was a little rainy, and it was no secret how windy it was. And Disney tried. They didn't just say, no, we're not even going to try. They actually did try. But in case anybody was wondering, no, there was no other ships docked there that day either.
And I will say, it before AI was so incredible like it is today. So going back many years ago, watching some ships go into the port when it was too windy and just completely demolish it, like trying to pull up to the dock and just run right through the dock. So they don't want to damage their ship. They don't want to damage the dock. They don't, there's no good thing coming from any of that. So, I mean, I always feel like they're going to make the best call they can, and if the best call means we're going to skip that port, then you're going to skip the port. I've also been on a cruise where we had to go back to somewhere to drop someone off because of a medical emergency. And I think for me, we were in Fort Lauderdale. We were leaving from Fort Lauderdale, and we were on our way, and we turned around and went all the way back to Fort Lauderdale in the middle of the night. And I woke up, and it was just, the ship was booking. It was going so fast. And I'm like, what is happening? What are we trying to do? And then in the morning, we all learned that they had to turn around, go back to Fort Lauderdale, drop someone off. And now they were still trying to get to our first stop. So, that's a thing they got to do. They have to pivot. And it sounds like you did too for that first day.
We did. But like I said, the cast and crew were phenomenal. They immediately, as soon as they get word that the day is going to be turned into an unexpected day at sea, they immediately go into action. They have a backup plan, the entertainment team, even the cast members that open the lounges and the bars, and they all have a backup system ready to go to activate as soon as we realize that we're not going to be docking wherever we're supposed to be docking that day. And they really did. They never missed a beat. They went right into action, and we did. We had a lovely time at sea. Yes, it was still windy, but it was so much fun. They had some extra activities and stuff for us, and we made the best of it. That's for sure. And then the next day is where we actually were able to dock in Tortola. We got there around, I think, 8:30, 8:15, and we were docked until about 2:45 in the afternoon. But unfortunately for us, it really just rained the majority of the day. It got to the point where we got off the ship, took some pictures, and we were off maybe 10 minutes, and it just started storming, and we had to take shelter. So then the first break, we just went back on the ship and just got back on the ship. And then the sun came out. So then we go to the adults area to try to get some sun. And then really from there, the rest of the day while we were in port, it was kind of like you had sun for 10 minutes, you had rain for 20. And it was just like just kept rotating. Like everybody would just know we all have our spots, and then it would start raining, and it would come up over the mountain unexpectedly, and it would just start raining. And so everyone would get up, go undercover, let it rain, and then we go back to the same seats. And everybody just kept repeating that. I did it myself probably about 5 times. And then finally I was just like, you know what? We're just going to go do something.
I'm good.
else.
Let me find something else to do.
Yeah, but
I did.
again, that wasn't Disney's fault, you know.
Oh gosh, they can't control the weather.
Yeah.
I will say that now, just following you last week, I saw that they had dance parties in the main lobby. I saw the confetti fall. I saw things, and I once talked to a cast member during one of my dinners. And they're like, this is my job. Like, so when we're at port, this is my job. And when I'm on the ship, this is my job. So I think they have their plans. They know if we don't dock, you go to Oceaneers, you go to this, you go to that. You're at Cabanas, you're going to do this. You're part of this entertainment staff. And instead of on the island, you're going to be here. And I like that it's seamless. I like that it looks like it's supposed to be that way. And they do bring out a lot more character friends for hugs. And I mean, so if you're someone who loves to have a character interaction, I think there are a lot more of them when things go wrong, because they know and they want to make it right. And they want to go, okay, well, no one can be sad when they're hugging Chip and Dale, right? Like that's not even possible. Right. So let's get the boys out here, double trouble, come on. And then there goes the line. And so I do think that they are always trying to say, what can we do to make this right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say, so 2 things I'll say is the first, if you are ever on a Disney cruise and you experience an unexpected day at sea, our cruise director for On the Treasure last week was Darren. Awesome guy. And assistant cruise director was, oh my goodness, my mind is blanking, David. Anyhow, they were great. But the one thing that you should know is anytime something changes like that, hopefully you will already have the Disney Cruise Line app downloaded on your phone. But when that happens, you need to close out the app and reopen it. That will actually refresh the app. So all of the new activities that they are adding on at the last minute because they're switching to an unexpected day at sea, that needs to be refreshed. So all those new activities show up so you can view them and see what there is to do. So that was just the thing that, and Darren made that announcement. I mean, for our cruise, because we had multiple unexpected days at sea, he made that announcement quite a bit. But just know for you, if you're ever on a cruise and have that happen, you just need to keep completely closing the app out and reopening it.
See, that's a great tip.
Yeah, so I guess we can go on to our last day, which was supposed to be Disney's Castaway Key. Disney's just Paradise Island in the Bahamas. I love it. I just love Castaway Key. I love everything about it. I love so many things. I was very excited to go to Castaway Key as well. But we woke up, we tried to pull up to the pier, to the dock, and the winds were just so strong. You could see the waves crashing against the rocks. And so we had to stop, and we had to turn around and go back out at sea. And Captain Marco, he actually tried again an hour later. So we tried twice to dock into Castaway Key, but it just didn't work because of the wind and the weather. But that is when, as you were talking about earlier, Tricia, that is when, once we finally realized, it was a little after 11 a.m. that we're at sea today. It is what it is. That is when, so a lot of people are expecting to meet some characters on Castaway Key. So they took all of the scheduled character meet and greets that were supposed to be on the island, and they moved them all to the Grand Hall. And they did that. And then in the afternoon, because there really wasn't any character meet and greets scheduled, they went ahead and turned that into a dance party. And I mean, and yes, like Tricia said, if you were following along, I was posting all about that dance party. And they even gave us confetti in the Grand Hall. So it was pretty cool. There was a lot of people taking advantage of that dance party, and it was really good. It was so much fun. But those are just, some of the little things that they're going to do for you to try to make up for not being able to port that day.
Yeah. I was asking Dustin questions while he was there. I know when they have not gone to Castaway specifically, people who have taken a cruise to go to the private islands, like they book a cruise to go to one of the private islands or both. And when they can't make a private island, I said they usually give something. So I said, have they announced something like, and I said, I've seen them do onboard credits most commonly. And that did happen. So even though it was not their fault, they still recognize that people didn't get the same level of experience they paid for, that they wanted, that they planned for mentally, right? Because you're planning mentally. I'm going to do this excursion. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. If it's their first cruise, holy cow. I mean, that really would be a disappointing thing for them. So Disney, I feel they did do a wonderful thing for everybody.
Yeah, they really did. And I mean, it's no secret. Like I said, I've been on many Disney cruises. I wasn't sad for myself. I was of course bummed not to go to the ports of call, but I was fine. Like I was just fine, but my heart really broke for those first time cruisers on our sailing. And like you said, Disney does what Disney does best, and that's provide exceptional customer service. The weather is the number one thing they couldn't control, and that was the thing that was not controlled our entire cruise. So they ended up giving every stateroom a $200 onboard credit to spend however we wanted, or just to take it off of whatever we've charged thus far. And then in addition to that, each reservation is going to get 20% off of our next Disney cruise that we book. As if that's not enough, a lot of people right away were asking, can we stack that 20% on top of a 10% placeholder or another deal? And Disney Cruise Line says, yes, you can. We are not going to stop you. So you can take that 20%. Yeah. So
Which,
again,
it really just shows they recognize it. They do the right thing. They do the right thing, right? So I'm just so proud that this is who we champion, right?
Yeah.
I mean, especially you and I, we really champion Disney and the Disney Cruise Line. And it just shows that they didn't just say, hey, we don't control the weather. I feel like other places would say that. They would say, we don't control the weather. We control what we do on the ship. And so I just love that, Disney does it.
Yeah. And I will just mention, just because I didn't earlier, like that, especially that day when we didn't get to go to Castaway Key, after our first failed attempt, which was around 10 a.m., they announced like they were opening the kids' clubs then, even though they were going to try it again at 11 a.m. But they did that. They were opening some lounges. I mean, just even after the first attempt, knowing they were going to try it again, like they immediately went into action and didn't hesitate. So just another example of how they go above and beyond to really, really take care of their guests and do what they can to make it right.
Yes. Yes. So did we have anything else in this level of the topic? Or I think that was the gist of your 7-night cruise is, you missed some islands, you had bad weather, and yet you still had a great cruise.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was always something to do. And I know we've said it before, but I will just say it one more time. If you're listening and you were working on the Disney Treasure, or you're a cast member in general, hats off to you. I mean, that crew, they worked. And people don't realize too is, of course there were some people complaining throughout the cruise because they were just sad and let down, the money they paid to get on there. It's understandable. But you don't need to take it out on the crew, because the one thing I want to point out is nobody wants a port day more than the cast and crew. That is the times, because none of them gets a day off. They work every single day. They get shifts off throughout the day. So the days that they're in port, a lot of cast members get more shifts off, or that's when their shifts are scheduled off. Right. So when they lose those port days and they have to switch to their plan B and entertain
Yeah.
couple thousand people at the last minute
Yeah.
unexpectedly, they lose their time off. Even people working in, I was talking to somebody who was working in the Haunted Mansion parlor. She's like, yeah, I got woke up by 2 phone calls this morning telling me that I needed to get up and be in there within a half an hour. She's like, I wasn't supposed to work until 2 o'clock this afternoon, but because we are now going to be at sea, she got a call and woke up and had to go right to work, and where she thought she was going to have the morning off. So just again, the cast and crew were phenomenal. They were great. But just if you're ever in that type of situation, just remember the cast and crew, they want to dock more than you do. I promise.
Yeah. They need a little grace during this because it's not on them either, right? The weather's not their fault. It's not Disney's fault, but they are there to serve you and they do it. And I would say they're pretty good at doing it with a smile. So
yeah, I mean, this cruise could have ended up being very sad and wrong, but at the end of the day, it was actually really happy and joyful. So it was great. So kudos to Disney Cruise Line.
All right. Well, I think that brings us to our last main topic, though we have a tendency to kind of pivot and think of new things to say. But we did tease that there is 2027 coming, summer of 2027 coming. And now I have the camera here, so you can see if you're watching and that I have every cruise that just got announced. I printed it off on cardstock so that it would be really sturdy because of 70,000 times I will touch it. But we chatted right away. You were sending me text messages. The Wish is going to Europe and the Dream and Fantasy are coming back. And it was like, wait, both of them? Wait, oh, this wasn't rumor? Oh, wait, what's the story? So as soon as I could get my hands on the sheet and see that, yes, the Wish is going to be in Europe, right? And some new things, right? So a 3-night cruise out of Belgium, 3-night Northern Europe, 4-night Spain, 5-night Spain, 6-night Western Europe, 7-night Mediterranean, which is of course the stuff that I want to do, 7-night or Norwegian fjords. I don't know. And here's the thing. I don't know if you have an interest in that. I have like zero interest in that. And yet people tell me how amazing it is. I just think I don't want to be cold. I don't know. I'll have to get over that at some point.
I'll tell you, the new stop for the Wish over in Europe that really caught my eye was going to Croatia, to Zadar.
Oh, absolutely. Because Croatia, right, just such a beautiful, beautiful place.
Yeah.
The Adirondack Sea, that's the one, right? The 8-night Adirondack, June 7th. Greece, Venice, Croatia, 3 days at sea. Yeah, that one. Yeah. That one. That's the one. Yeah. And then, here we have Italian Isles and Greece, Malta, which is interesting, right? The 9 days Greek Isle, Malta, Greece, Italy, 10-night Mediterranean with the Greek Isles. That's all the Disney Wish over in Europe this year. So, and then the Dream and Fantasy, they're going to be here this summer doing a 3-4 night rotation, which I got to say, it makes me so sad. Dustin and I, we share the same favorites. We share the same favorite ship. And I do not like taking 3 and 4 night cruises. I want to take 5, 7, 10-day cruises. So the 3-4 night is not my favorite. And they're taking my favorite ship and making it a 3-4 night. Anyway, but the wonder and the magic going back to Alaska next summer. So that's good to know. And then, of course, we have the Destiny and Dream at Fort Lauderdale and the Fantasy and the Treasure at Port Canaveral. Right? That's the snapshot of next summer. Yeah, that's the snapshot of next summer. And I am telling you, I don't know. It's like, which thing? I mean, I know what I'm doing in September of 2027. I know I'm taking a 4-night cruise and I'm going to go with a bunch of my friends. But next summer, I still have to pick. I am getting on a cruise on Saturday. This Saturday, I'm getting on a cruise. And the first thing I have to do is buy my 2 placeholders because I have to figure out where I'm going. And well, 2027, I have to buy the Dustin OnDeck cruise, and then whatever the other one is. So I know for me, I'm really looking forward to picking up my placeholders next week.
Yes. I'm so excited that we finally get the summer of 2027. I know a lot of people have been looking forward to it. And yeah, I think the biggest thing probably is definitely the Wish going over to Europe. There's a lot of people really excited for that. And it's gonna be amazing time. There's gonna be some amazing sailings over there for anybody that gets to go on board.
And I mean, like them adding this new stuff is exciting. So last April, I was in Belgium as part of an Adventures by Disney trip. So that was a river cruise, and we went to 3 stops in Belgium. And it's a beautiful, beautiful place to be. A beautiful place to be. I was looking to see if anything went to the different port, but no. Oh, Gibraltar, Portugal. Like this one 6-night Western Europe. Gibraltar, Portugal, Spain. Portugal's beautiful. So again, that's something different. Italy, 2 days at sea, Milan. Italy instead of, what does that mean? Where is the little asterisk? Oh, July 3rd. So July 3rd is a little bit different than July 10th or May 22nd. It's going over there early. May. Where is the transatlantic on this list? I don't see it on this list. But of course there's a transatlantic.
Yes.
Somewhere. But I don't see it on this list. But anyway, it's got a cruise here May 22nd. So it's heading over early. And September 3rd here, September 10th. So is September 10th the latest date, right? And then it'll come back home. September. Yeah. That's a long season.
Yeah.
But it's only one ship, where this summer you can have the Dream or the Fantasy over in Europe. Which I was talking to Dustin before this thing started, and I'm like, I don't know. I might have to go to the Fantasy this summer. I think that might be how I spend my summer vacation is wait for that. We haven't booked enough people on the ship, 35% restricted offer. That's what I'm waiting for.
I don't blame you at all.
Yeah, I'll wait for my 35% off restricted offer, and then I think I'm going to try for the Treasure, because I just miss her. She's such a great ship.
Yep, I agree. I get it. I'm really excited. I mean, it's nothing new news, but I am excited that Disney they're going to send the Magic back to Alaska with the Wonder next year too. I think that's going to be really good, and it says a lot about the investment Disney has made into the Alaskan sailings.
You know what? We just talked about all of these ships, but you know what we did not mention at all is the Adventure.
Yeah, we did not, did we?
We didn't mention the Adventure. Okay, so, I mean, if you're a Disney Cruise Line fan, you are following that the Adventure was just here a couple days ago, and they did their West Coast, what did they call that? Media event. West Coast Media event. So one of our team members was invited on the Adventure on the 9th, and she came back and said, wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow. I mean, like, she couldn't stop with the wows. She's like, this is so different. This is just not at all what we think of as a Disney cruise. They are changing up the game. The thing that I am really excited about was one of the restaurants she talked about, which was the restaurant in San Francisco, that you walk to where Vibe is, and then she says you walk to where Vibe is, and then there's this hallway, and it's a hallway that looks like a subway platform. So as you're walking down that hallway, there are sounds of you being on a subway, and there's artwork that is like the subway train map and all that. And so the lights are flickering like when you go in the tunnel and out of the tunnel, and you go through that to get to the restaurant. And the restaurant is, San Francisco Thai food kind of thing. And when she was describing it all, because they got to eat on board, when she was describing it all, I was so jealous. I'm like,
That's so awesome. I can't wait to see it. I cannot wait.
I can't wait to see it either. I mean, like, I know, Dustin and I and two other friends, we were all booked to go on the adventure together. We were supposed to be on it this week. We were supposed to be on our 4-night sailing right now.
Yep.
And yes, we're not. It's not even there. So it's not like we had to cancel. They canceled on us.
Yeah.
And
it does help that the ship's not even in Singapore. So it does help me at least feel a little bit better.
For sure. Like if it would have been us who went and we changed our mind and then we were driving, we were going crazy because of it. But of course, if you've no pictures, there are no pictures of the inside of this ship. It is on a massive embargo. Nobody is allowed to post a picture. They've already had a preview sale. And the people who did the people who were invited to a preview sale, none of them posted pictures because it is an embargoed moment. So we cannot wait until we can share some of the stuff we have, but we have to wait. But I will say it did make me want to go again because I kind of felt like once we got canceled and once, it lost its luster a little. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I can wait. I can wait until it's done with its tour in Singapore. And then it was like, well, maybe I don't want to wait 5 years. Maybe I want to have another reason to go there. And if I can find another reason to go there, maybe we make it happen anyway. So, So she also said, the ship is so ginormous, think more of an Icon class ship that a 3 and 4 day, she's like a 3 day. It's a good thing you don't stop at any ports because you're not even seeing the whole ship at 3 days.
Sure.
And that, needing a back to back to really experience the ship.
Yeah, I believe it. And I think the important thing is kind of just like just a reminder for us all, once we do get to all start see the ship, see what it's like, see the inside of it, I think it's important to remember that this ship alone is a class of its own. Because we love to compare the ships. We love to, which ship is your favorite? Which ship is better for this type of person, and what ship is worse? And we love to do all of that. And we can pick everything apart. But I think at the end of the day, for this ship, the Adventure, it is a class of its own. There's not going to be another one like it, at least that we're aware of. It's one of a kind. So just take that for what it's worth. We know for a fact it's going to be completely different than any of the other ships. We know that. So just keep that in mind.
She did say the merch. She goes, the merch is incredible. They got to walk through the store, the World of Disney. She goes, we got to walk through the store. And then she talked about the Duffy store. And she was like, Tricia, oh my God, this stuff was incredible. I'm like, I know. We were following all of it when we thought we would be on the ship right now. And how many times you posted about the merch on your page. And I was like, I'll be getting that. And I'll be getting that. And I'm like, okay. So anyway, the Adventure, we did breeze over it. But if you are interested in going to Singapore for the Disney Adventure, if you've been on every other ship and you insist that you get on every single one, we got you. We're here for you. We will help you get to Singapore. But I will say, if anyone's going, you got to do a back-to-back. You certainly can't go for a 3 day. A 4 day, you're not going to see everything. There's 10 restaurants aboard. So, if you're going to get a chance to do, as much as you can, you need more time. But it did make me go, okay, maybe I got to put that back on the radar. Maybe I can't wait 5 years. Maybe it's going back on the radar. So
I will say, being on the Disney Treasure last week, our head server for the main dining rooms for dinner, he told us he is excited. He's going to be leaving at the end of the month to go over for the Adventure. So he's very excited.
Really?
There's actually quite a bit of crew and cast on the treasure that will be leaving to go over to the adventure soon. So just from what I've picked up.
The
So
conversations.
yep, absolutely.
Neat. I'm
Yeah.
telling you. It's so good. It's just such a good elevated product, adventure Disney Cruise Line. It really is. Even in the situation you described on the treasure, I've never been sorry. I've never been sorry I've taken a Disney cruise. I can
Sure.
say that without a doubt. They're always there to make your day. You get beautiful surroundings, nice size rooms. And the one thing, again, we've talked about it on a different podcast, but the upkeep of their ship, of every ship. I mean, have you
Yes.
ever been on a ship where they're not painting, fixing, covering, cleaning? It's just the white started to, a little bit of yellowing of the white paint. Nope, can't stand for that. We've got to repaint
Not at
that
all.
white. So it's just the kind of thing that they take such pride in it, in the best way, pride in the good kind of way. And it's such a good feeling. So
It is. Disney's awesome.
this is awesome. All right. Well, how do we want to wrap up this podcast? I want to say, if you find us only via podcast, please like at Visit Mickey, please like Dustin OnDeck for DCL. Go to our socials, give us a like so that you can see stuff that we're doing day to day, week to week. And if you are interested on doing the cruise in September of 2027, you can go to visitmickey.com and go right to the main page, or you can email Dustin at visitmickey.com. So those are two ways to find us for information about that. What else? Anything? Any parting thoughts there?
No, I mean, I think if you do happen to join us on that cruise next September, we're working on some little things that we might be able to get to do on board. So just know, I'll just leave with that little tease, I guess. But it's gonna be a good time, and I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Yeah. There's that song. It's going to be a good time. That's like the chorus. Maybe we'll make that the song for.
That would be great. That would be great.
That'll be our theme song for when we're advertising it.
Yeah.
Which is funny. I just said that and go, it's not really advertising it. It's just we want people to enjoy it as much as we do.
Well, I think that's actually where it. Yeah, I think that's where what it comes down to with us doing this cruise as a group, as as a Disney family, next September on the Disney Destiny, is we're here, like, we do sell the product, we do promote the product, but we actually are promoting it because we love it and we actually live it. We go on these cruises ourselves. We want to be on as many Disney cruises as we possibly can too. So we're not just here just trying to sell something just to sell it. Like, we actually believe in it. And I hope that comes across. I hope the authenticity of all of this really comes across and people can just understand that.
Oh my gosh. I hope so too, because we do. Okay, so Dustin, you just finished your 22nd cruise, right?
So 21 Disney, yes.
21 Disney. Okay.
Yep.
I think I've had 22. So this weekend, I will be on my 23rd Disney cruise. I don't even keep track of my other cruises. What difference does that matter? I have 23. This will be my 23rd Disney cruise. And that means something. It means we love it. We do love it. So, and because if you were watching us on YouTube, we are smiling. We are, this is like something that makes us so happy, which is why we like sharing it with other people. So that's why I had to dial back advertise. We're not. We're just, we want to share it with more people because of how much we love it.
Yeah. And I guess, and going back to, if you do follow us on social media, or if you don't and you start, just interact with us. We love it. Like, just if you've got questions, reach out. This is what we're here for. We're an open book. We are here to truly talk Disney and Disney Cruise Line. So just reach out.
And we would be glad to answer any questions and, do whatever. But, and believe me, we answer questions for people, whether we book them or not. We don't want anyone going in blindly. If you have a question, we're here to answer it for you. So,
Yep.
but that being said, I think we're going to wrap up this particular podcast. I have had a great time with you again. Can't get enough of these fun stories between us. And Dustin, your newsletter. How do
Yes.
we get people to find that?
Yeah, so if you follow me on Instagram, you can just go to my profile. There's a link right in my profile at Dustin OnDeck for DCL. Just click the link and they'll fill out the form and you'll be signed up for the podcast, for the newsletter.
Yeah. And so he has two right now, and you do them monthly.
Yep, send them out once a month. I just sent out the second edition 2 days ago, and then I did do a special edition one on release day for the new summer 2027 itineraries that just came out. So yeah, so expect an email from me once a month. Really, it's talking all things Disney Cruise Line. I'm highlighting what the latest news is. I usually throw in a monthly tip for everybody for who's going to be going on a cruise. I usually have a photo of the month, and yeah, just highlighting some random things. And then I always usually highlight what my next Disney cruise is. So just a way to connect and share more information. And then with that email, anytime you get one, if you have any questions, you can just hit the reply button and respond to me if you got any questions.
All right. Now we're going to wrap this up. Thank you for everybody who follows us. Make sure that you're subscribing so that when a new podcast pops up, you are hearing about it right away. This is Tricia from All Aboard with Visit Mickey. You have a magical night, and we will see you real soon.
Bye.